Wow. Howdy. Hi. 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 How are you?
That was quite the greeting.
Wow. What is happening here? Oh. What- oh. Anyway, hi. How are you?
Hello, I'm okay. My son brought back the creepy crawly crud from daycare again.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, and I'm like, I thought this was supposed to stop when it was nice outside, but here we
No,
are.
it
So,
stops when they're like, well, it stops when they're like 5. Like it,
no.
it slows down. So like by the time he goes to kindergarten, like you'll have been through everything. His immune system is going to be awesome because, which we know what it's like when your immune system's not. So his immune system is going to be awesome, right? Because he's getting all of the stuff now, and you're getting, so just expect it for the next.
Yes, but then we're sick all the time, which is fun when you're already chronically ill. So if I
Right,
sound a little stuffed up, that is why.
right, right.
Anyway.
Um, So we thought we're just waiting for Lexi to jump in. She'll be here any minute. So we had thought that this week's episode that we're talking about of Seeking Sister Wife was the going to be the finale,
It is not.
and it is not.
I know. And I said that last week. I was like, I don't think this is the finale. And y'all were like, no, it is. And I'm like, okay. And then so we got to the end and they were like, next episode. And I'm like, ah.
Why do you listen to me? What? You're talking to somebody who has 5 brain cells right now. Like, really? Why are you listening to me about anything? Just tell me, Katrina, shut up.
My guess is that there's going to be 14 episodes because that's what there were last season.
Oh, wow. Look at you counting the episodes.
No, I just looked it up on Max.
Oh, yeah. I suppose I could have done that too. But no. My best friend and I were texting. We're busy texting. It's her birthday today.
Oh.
I will not say how old she is, but suffice it to say, she and I have been best friends for going on almost 30 years. So, and you know, we've been married and divorced since then, both of us. I got sober, like whole things. Lots of children. Anyway, it's her birthday today. She and I were just scheming on how we could get a charter on Below Deck financed for us. Like, who would finance it but not insist on coming with us?
Right.
Because I mean, she's single, so she can do whatever she wants, right? Um, I just want to go and have a good time, right? And for me, having a good time is doing stupid shit like jumping off the boat, and they're going to put that goddamn slide up. And you haven't seen the show yet, so you have no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to the
I
slide.
don't, but like I would totally go and hang. Like I'll probably like if this were to ever happen, I would watch the show first, obviously.
Right. Well, you're gonna watch the show anyway in all of your pockets of time, right?
Right.
I just said pockets of time because I was listening to that's like a very specific like MLM reference.
Oh,
You can do this at home in your pockets of time,
oh gosh.
right. I was listening to Roberta Blevin's episode. I think it's her most recent episode. It's one of her episodes of Life After MLM. Um, and they were talking about that on there. That's why it was on my brain.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, MLM in your pockets of time.
So how are we financing it so we can go?
Oh, yeah, we don't know yet because she said like most of the people she knows that have that kind of money to finance things like that are Arab. And Arabs would insist the people she knows would insist on going on the boat, and they're not gonna be keen on being recorded because of
Right.
right. So that wouldn't work out, right?
Right.
So we need to find somebody else. And so I don't know. I don't know who else, she's the business person, right? She has all the business contacts. That's what she does. She connects people and their money to things. So, she needs to connect somebody's money to us to go on a yacht for a couple of days on Below Deck.
Interesting. So how many people, like what's the maximum amount of people that could go?
I don't know. I mean, I guess it would depend what ship it is, but like most of them are like 8.
Oh, that's a lot of people. I assumed
So
it was like
yeah,
4.
you could do 4, like 4, 6, 8. You know, you usually will see 6 to 8
Okay, so there could be like spouses and like significant others involved.
potentially, depending on like yeah, like who is financing, who are the primaries, because like
Got it.
like there's primaries and and all of this stuff, right? So it would depend on like where the financing was coming from and like do I get to invite people or does she get to have to invite people and how many spots does she get to invite for? If she's bringing the money, are these people, like, you know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
right.
so she's got to finagle a deal that, like where we can just do this all on our own without them. We just want the money, like an angel investor. It's an investment in our happiness and entertainment and the entertainment value to the world. See, hey, I'm a lawyer. I can argue anything, right?
Why would anyone do this though?
I don't know. I don't know. But this is the same woman that like I want to say so it was probably like 25 years ago. We were in Annapolis together. This was in my drinking days. We were at this bar drinking and somehow we didn't spend a dime on our drinks and we left the bar with more money than we came in with.
What?
So I don't know what kind of magic she works and what kinds of special magic things she says and does. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's business magic. I don't know. I don't know.
Lexi's here.
There's
Hello.
Lexi.
How's everyone doing?
Good.
Good.
We're trying to figure out how to finance chartering the below deck.
One of the below
Yeah.
deck.
Oh, we should start a GoFundMe.
To send us and our best friends, our best podcast friends, like who
Mhm.
would we team up with? Like who would we all invite if it was like the 3 of us going as a 3 co-primaries, as it were? Who
We
would we all
definitely
bring?
have to bring Danielle Jabali for
Oh
sure.
yeah, for
Oh, that would be
sure.
so fun.
We'd bring Danielle. Yes.
Well, Lauren's about to have a baby any moment, so maybe Lauren, she'll probably need it. Let's
So
see
then we
who
couldn't do
else.
Michelle if we did Lauren.
Oh, right, yeah. I don't know.
So
Yeah.
yeah, Lauren and Michelle are sisters, but they don't really get they're twins, and then but they're all Lauren, Michelle, Lexi. We're all on Single Life with Danielle Jabali.
Gotcha.
So, and then I got to meet them because Danielle was like, "Hey, why don't you come meet me for dinner tonight? I'm meeting up with some my friends." And then I met them, and now Lauren does my hair, and Lexi does the rest of my life. So, I wouldn't be here without Lexi. Like, she keeps me upright. I didn't see her last week. Our schedules did not allow for acupuncture last week, and it's like, what is happening in my world? Like,
Oh, I missed you.
so, I have no fear. I will see her this week.
Yeah, Lexi and I still need to meet.
I know.
I
we need to-
know. I know. We still need to plan something in the summer. And you live in such a beautiful like part of the state. Like summer in fall, like in all of it is beautiful up where you live, up in upstate New York.
Yes, it's quite gorgeous. Just if you travel in the winter, just know you might get snowed in.
I mean, there are worse places to be than Snowden with Pastor Becca, her husband Will, and their baby. Like, are you kidding me? If I got snowed in with you, like that would be like the cat's pajamas, man.
You say that, and yet we have a toddler.
Yeah, so that's what the beauty of like crazy Aunt Katrina is. And like usually Aunt Cat.
I love
The
that.
cat will wear them out.
Anti Cat is what I'm Anti Cat. I'm
I'll
Aunt
have
Cat.
Kaya babysit.
My best
can watch.
friends' kids call me Aunt Cat as if that's like my full name. Just Aunt Cat. Like that's my name. But yeah, he can call me, whatever he wants. But that's the beauty of somebody like me. I come in and I play and I crazy and I take them off your hands for, a few days. and
few
then I return him
days.
to you.
Oh
Once we're
gosh,
done
okay.
being snowed in, then I return ownership of the child to you. But I can give you a break for a few days because I can put up with crazy for a few days because I don't do it every day. And
Right.
remember,
That's
my
true.
kid is 20 years old.
Right.
So,
Well, here's the deal. You all come visit me in the summer, and then I come down in the fall for your birthday, Katrina.
Oh yeah.
We
And
should do that.
Kaya and Theo. I kept wanting to say baby Will. And I'm like, no, that's
Nope.
not right. That's not right. No,
That's funny
Willie.
though. I'll tell him you said that. He'd appreciate that.
Theo, Kaya and Theo would love each other.
Oh my
play.
gosh,
Gosh.
yes. Kaya
100%.
loves babies.
They would love each other.
And
Think
Theo
about-
just loves other kids. Like he just goes up to them and starts hugging them now. So
Mhm.
and,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh, Kaya would love it.
yeah.
Absolutely love it.
We need to figure out and I mean, we wouldn't, of course, practice any acupuncture or anything because Lexi's not licensed outside of the state of Maryland, so she wouldn't practice anything while we
Right.
were up there.
Correct.
But she could talk to you about your herb stuff. So
that's helpful.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh, I have
so
some news real quick.
Oh,
yes.
So I was hanging out with my friend Missy the other day, and we
Okay.
were talking about Below Deck, and she said, "Oh, my friend dated one of those guys on Below Deck." I'm like, "Who?" She's like, "Ah, I can't remember his name. It's a weird name." And then she like finds it. She's like, "Culver." So I got to ask her more into
That's
that.
right, because Culver's from Maryland.
Yeah, he lives like, well, he's from like close to us in Annapolis. Yeah.
But he's
So it's
super,
funny.
super home buddy, right? Like he loves coming home to his farm and his mom and is chef mommy.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I'll
like
have to
I
get
just
more
watched
info on
one. I
that.
just watched the Australia seasons the other like a week or so ago.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's
So-
my little connection. Well, I'll ask more into it.
Oh, we have to hear ask me anything. We need to ask her anything.
Yes,
About
we
what-
do.
I want to know all of the details.
Me too.
And Becca is like what? Because she hasn't had time to watch yet. But it's
Start with season 2, Becca. Just
season
skip season
2
1.
of regular Below Deck.
Yes.
It's on
you will
my
be
list.
hooked. You will be
Yes.
hooked.
You will be. And
It-
it's one, like I
it's-
said, this is like it becomes below deck o'clock in my house because my brain levels hit a certain, it's entertainment. There's a storyline, there's a plot, but you can follow it all. And if you just like step back a little, like you don't have to take it very seriously. Like you remember these are a bunch of 20-year-olds and their conflict management, resolution, and management styles are a little bit lacking to say the least. So I've been watching it in that like vein because like I think I took it too seriously because I take my reality TV very seriously. No, I'm watching it this time just like with a complete like disregard of like what I know. I'm like me as a 50-year-old woman with being in the professional working world since I was 17, like have a different understanding of conflict resolution in the workplace than
21
Culver.
and 22-year-old. Yeah.
Yeah.
or whatever.
Meanwhile, I would like to say that sometimes age has nothing to do with it.
That
Correct.
is true.
I'm just saying.
Absolutely. It's not just that they're 21. They're like 21 and all they've done is they've just spent their time
Party.
on yachts, which
Right.
honestly I'm a little jealous of. Like if I had known that this was a career,
Drug, sex, and rock and roll.
if this was something I could do, if I knew about this back in college, I totally would have. Because I was a sailor in college. I raced on the San Diego State sailing team. Like I could have like gone into that. Like if I would have spent more time at the yacht club if I had known.
I'm mad because I was a server throughout undergrad and even currently part-time now. But I'm saying like I could have been on a yacht serving.
Right.
What? I've been in like
I'm like
a
these
brick
kids
building.
are just young and they have no like some of them don't even have like apartments. Kate was talking about maybe getting a car.
Yeah, because they don't need it. They're just traveling around the
Yeah.
world.
And it's like, what am I going to do next? I don't know.
Yeah.
Whereas like I feel like I when I like my trajectory, while not necessarily linear, went the way as I expected I was supposed to go, right? Like whatever expectations were in place for me, whether I put them there or my family or society or whatever, I followed a certain trajectory, which was high school, college, and then I got married, worked for a while, got divorced, but then I went to graduate school and then like I did the things kind of. But if I had known I could just like fuck off into the sea somewhere, I would have been like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Um, so I have a chef friend, and I'm pretty sure he told me at one point that he was one of the chefs like on yachts. Like obviously not the one that's filmed, but like I'm pretty sure he did that for a while. So I
He was
kind of
the
want to
yacht
have
chef for a while. Yeah,
Yeah,
I would
so
talk to him.
I
have a
really want to
friend,
talk
Nick,
to him about it.
Remember, I think I told you, Katrina, one of my friends, Nick, was also a chef on a yacht. He
Right.
goes over to Matt's house all the time, and I'll see him on Sunday actually. But I was like, I keep trying to get him on the podcast. I'm like, I got to know what it's like to be a chef
What's
on a
it like
yacht.
being an
Yeah.
actual yacht chef?
We should
Yeah.
just have like all our chef friends who've done it on
Yeah.
yachts, like
Little
come on the
chef roundtable, yacht chef roundtable.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
That would be so fun because the dude that I know is hilarious. Like
Nice.
I met him because I was taking a community college, like a not community college, continuing education course on cooking, and he was the teacher.
So what did you learn how to cook? What did he teach you how to cook?
So I did multiple ones with him. My favorite one was the canning class. So we learned how to like do canning safely.
Are you planning on moving off the grid?
No, I just really wanted to learn how to make jam.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough. I love me some homemade jam. So,
Right? It's good stuff. But I took other stuff with him. Like he did a pressure cooker class.
Oh, okay.
Which was actually really like useful.
Yeah, that seems like it would be like, here's some basics you need to know about how it works and why, and then you can like extrapolate from that on things too.
Yeah, and I think there was another course that I took with Will where we did different like appetizers for different traditions, right? So we did like Asian appetizers and Italian appetizers and
Oh, fun.
Spanish appetizers. That's
I love me some appetizers.
right. I
Love
could just
some
make a meal of those, man.
That's what we had last night. We we had a meal too, but like we had just like a plate of all these appetizers.
No,
It was so good.
I love it. Like tapas.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically like, the like appetizer platter that you can get at restaurants where it's like everything deep fried. That's like the American version of Spanish tapas.
Right. Everything deep fried. That is so true. Oh my God. It's got like the deep fried zucchini and like the wings and the
potato skins and mozzarella sticks
and mozzarella sticks and like stuffed mushrooms, usually stuffed
I'm
deep
hungry,
fried
guys.
mushrooms.
Sorry.
I'm getting hungry now. All I had was blackberries for dinner. I did eat Taco Bell for lunch, but that's another story.
And how'd that go for you?
Yeah,
I know, right? Not so good, but I don't eat meat, so it was just like the vegetable, like bean ones, So
Yeah.
it was,
I had I thought about you, Lexi, because I had beef pho tonight. I went and got a massage, and there's a Vietnamese place right next to it. I was like, oh, perfect. My massage was like at 5:30 p.m. Like, okay, perfect. I'll be done at like 6:30. I'll grab some pho because Lexi's been on me to drink bone broth and particularly beef.
Yep.
Because of some nutrient that I don't know.
Yes, minerals from the bone. Like, yeah, you need iron and you need the minerals.
Right. So, and she said pho is one way to do that.
Oh, I love pho. I can eat pho, but I can't do bone broth.
So what is it? Is pho like still like, is it not as good as bone broth or?
No, it's not simmering forever. That's why I can do pho.
So what makes bone broth more special than pho?
You'll have to ask Leslie, but I think it's because it's like simmering for long amounts of time.
Yeah, bone broth simmers longer than the broth that's in
it's
pho,
like
but it's still...
healthier.
Can you guys hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, my microphone was acting weird, and then Kai was talking. Sorry, what were you saying, Katrina?
I'm just wondering, like, if I can be pho, like, but bone broth is better.
I mean, they're both good, but yeah, bone broth is simmered for a really, really, really long time, like hours to
And
get
that gives it
all the
more minerals.
because you're simmering the bone itself, like of the animal.
So
So
what does that
everything
mean?
it's extracting out all the nutrients from the
Okay.
bone.
And beef like pho from a Vietnamese place, they're not going to be simmering it that
Well,
long, so it's not going
as
to
far as
get
I
like,
knew, it was still like bone broth, but it's not like as long cooked. But I could be wrong. That's what I was told.
Okay, because I
But
don't
they're still
react to
cooking the bone.
you
because I
don't
don't
react to
react
pho.
to pho, but I
Oh,
don't eat beef. I eat chicken, so I do like chicken.
I
It's
like.
pho ga.
I've always had chicken pho. Has always been my go-to. It's like probably like the first kind I ever had, and the way I mixed it or something. So like when I want pho, that's what I want, right? Like that's the specific flavoring that I want. But with Lexi saying, I should increase like the red meat because I don't really eat red meat much at all. And so I was like, okay, well, let me get beef. Let me get the beef one, right? And so I got it and I fell in love. Like I'm like, oh my God, this is like the best beef. Like this is the best broth I've ever tasted in my life. I don't know. It was super good. I ordered some from like DoorDash one night and it was just super good. It could have just been that particular night or whatever, but then
Well,
I got it tonight and
so
it was good
good.
too.
I mean, I haven't eaten meat since 2016, and that's one of the things I miss. People are like, do you miss meat? And I'm like, maybe every now and then, like not really, but like pho,
No.
like some beef, like pho, yes, so
So
good.
the only reason I'm not a full vegetarian is because of chicken wings.
Well, you are in like North New York, like
Yeah,
You live
I
in
mean,
New
the
York,
wing
yeah.
capital.
well, yeah, I mean
Upstate.
that's Buffalo, which is far west where we used to live, but like yeah, yeah, and I only eat like chicken and sometimes turkey. Like mostly I eat vegetarian, but like I legitimately could not be full vegetarian because I would miss chicken wings too much.
Well, so here's the thing. Lexi's trying to get me, she's also trying to get me off dairy and sugar because those are very inflammatory, right?
Mhm.
And I've just been blowing up lately. I am like so just like I'm just one big inflamed ball of mass right now is what I feel like. Like I feel like I'm busting out of my skin and stuff. So I'm like, okay, I'm so uncomfortable. Like, oh, everything's terrible. So I'll do anything, right? So I got like organic, vegan, non-dairy protein powder, which was like just taking some getting used to, but I'm like, whatever. It's just a protein shake. Like, mix it with water. It's chocolatey water, whatever. Drink it. I'm not drinking this for the flavor. I'm drinking it because I need the protein, and it's non-dairy, whatever. And switching to like non-dairy like protein bars, and I'm looking at those kinds of things. But the reason I can't go full non-dairy is cheese. Like I could eliminate dairy in so
vegan
many
cheese
things,
sucks.
but I love cheese
Although
so
the
much.
well, first of all, like all the vegan food is like all processed crap anyways, but you gotta pick and choose your battles, I guess.
Right, right.
But they have they've come so far with vegan cheeses. When I was a vegan for back in the day,
Mm,
they sucked. And now there's like 40 different brands of vegan cheeses.
mm. I mean, I can
Anyways.
adapt to a lot of things, you know. Is Becca sneezing? God bless you. God
Oh,
bless you, Pastor Becca.
I managed to mute just in time. It was like,
She's making these faces over there. I'm like,
I'm sorry.
she was wanting to throw up hearing about vegan cheese. She was like, oh, oh, oh.
So I've never tasted a vegan cheese that was good. I've tried a bunch and like I've not found one. And part of it is I can't do soy. So like
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So like most of them are soy based anyway. So but even the ones that aren't soy, I'm just like, bleh.
and
They
how
don't
does
melt
regular
correctly.
cheese, how does
No, they
regular
don't.
dairy cheese sit with you, given your gut issues?
I actually don't have problems with dairy. I have problems with a
Oh,
lot
good.
of other stuff, but not
Yeah, all
dairy.
right.
My husband, however, is lactose intolerant.
Mm.
So
Mm.
there's that.
Um, so who's not lactose intolerant is
Garrick.
Derek.
Jasmine,
Oh, Jasmine,
Oh.
who is
right.
eating that
The Lunchable, the
the
adult
Lunchable,
Lunchable.
and I love me basically a Dollar Tree charcuterie board is what that was, right? Like, you know, the one it is at the store that's like wrapped in plastic and it's got like the pepperoni and the like the knockoff Ritz crackers and stuff. Like, I know what it is because I bought it. Like, I'm not bougie about my charcuterie. Like, I was just talking about cheese, meat and cheese. Like, I could stand in the refrigerator and eat salami and cheese all night. Of course, that's probably why I blow up like a goddamn blowfish right now, because the amount of sodium and
I was gonna say that amount of sodium will do it to anybody, really.
plus all the cheese. Yeah, not healthy choices for me, right?
I mean, you're talking to someone that ate Taco Bell today, okay?
Yeah, that's
Like-
well, you must have been in a rush.
I wasn't in a rush. I was watching the Blue Angels. I got distracted. I was like, whoa, I gotta eat. Oh,
Oh, they
I
were
just-
they
I
were
just-
practicing. That's right. Because
I saw that on your Instagram stories, and I was like, "That's so cool! You saw the Blue Angels."
Yeah, it's every year. My whole apartment shakes. I was at the office. That was cool because I got to see part of it from the office, which was nice.
well, and they're just practicing right now because they're
Right.
practicing for the graduation, which
Mhm, tomorrow.
is tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah,
So the actual show happens tomorrow. So you get like,
but they did the full show. They do the whole.
so
Yeah,
you get two. I
Mhm.
once watched a documentary on the Blue Angels, and it was really cool because it showed like how the kind of training that they go through, and it's like so intense. Like, they all sit in a room with like their eyes closed and go through the entire sequence, like with their hand, as if they're, but like all of the commands and the and turn or whatever the commands are. They go through the entire performance like in a room, like all day, basically. Like,
That's so.
it's really, yeah, it's really pretty incredible. But in any case, so the charcuterie board that the Davises had prior to the hot tub.
Is that where we're starting?
Why not? I mean, sure. It's only 30 minutes into a recording. Might as well talk about the damn show.
Let me
That's pretty
find.
normal for podcasts anyway, though.
But whatever. Okay, we'll talk about the show. We'll be right
Okay.
back.
Try to keep us on track. That's all.
All right, let's talk about the show.
All right, the Davis family. We are talking about season 5, episode 12, Seeking Common Ground, which I messaged you ladies earlier. I didn't realize that every single episode started with seeking
Yes.
this season. It took me 12 episodes to figure that out.
I realized that
Uh,
early on because I was posting the episodes, and I was like, okay, I was, copying and pasting the titles, and it's seeking this, oh, I get it, seeking sister wife. I didn't think to share this revelation because I didn't think it was news, but
Yeah.
And yet here we are.
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Well, yeah. So the Davis family. Okay, this was just wild to me. Jasmine is coming over to their house for a sleepover, and she's bringing a suitcase. It looks like she's moving in. I don't know. It was pretty big.
And
Not like
a backpack.
yeah, not like a
Well, days
duffel
for the
bag.
weekend. So she's got to have all her toiletries and hygiene products, and you got to have outfits.
Case. I can pack that in a.
Yeah,
Grocery
but you're not
bag.
Jasmine.
I
Jasmine
guess
is a little
not.
more high maintenance than you are.
Yeah, I guess so. My goodness.
You know.
And do you guys think that like Jen is like high all the time?
Why do you think? What is it about her demeanor that makes you suspect that? Is it her eyes that look super puffy?
Her eyes are glazed and she looks confused all the time. She's like, "Oh, wait." They're always red and glazed. Just
Her
that was
eyes
just
are
an
also very
observation.
puffy. Her eyelids and the surrounding area is very puffy. The way that my eyes do look after I've had a really bad crying fit.
Oh, you think it's crying?
I don't know, but I'm just
Oh.
saying my eyes look like that after a huge crying fit. Like, they get so puffy, and her puffiness is exactly like the same as mine is. So I don't know. Other things could
Interesting.
puff eyes too.
I feel like she doesn't even know where she's at half the time. She's like, huh? What? Anyway,
Yeah, she is a bit of a space cadet.
yeah. So they made sure
Which
that
possibly is why she's perfect in Galileo's universe. But
exactly.
So you all are gonna laugh at this. So I went to commencement for the seminary I teach at
right.
this past weekend, and I sat down with 2 students. One was one of my students in one of my classes, and the other one was her spouse, who was also working on an advanced degree. And they were both graduating. and I sat down to catch up with them, and they were like, so we are huge fans of Seeking Sister Wife, and we've been listening to the podcast.
Oh my
Uh-oh.
god.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
And they were like, we have some feedback for you.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
So this is a shout out to Alina and Daniel.
Hi, Alina and Daniel.
I'm bracing myself.
I
I'm
know,
bracing
oh God.
myself.
And so one of the things they said was like, why do y'all hate on Nick so much? They were like, because, and the reason we asked, like, first of all, yeah, he's kind of full of himself, but like, he doesn't seem like a bad guy or like a malicious guy. He just seems like a kind of full of himself guy. They were like, but also, like, y'all were talking about how, you know, like he's just lazy and he just has all the wives get married to each other because he's lazy. And they were like, but actually, if the wives decided to leave him, like, because they're all married to each other, he would get absolutely nothing.
This is
Right, and
true.
he also wouldn't lose anything if he got divorced and he was married to them. Granted, I don't think he
Right.
has anything because he doesn't work.
I mean, that's fair,
But,
but like he wouldn't
yeah.
really get anything because legally he's not connected to any of them, which
Mhm.
I thought was an interesting idea.
Well,
That
is there
is a-
some sort of common law marriage if there's multiple partners? How does that work?
Common law marriage is not really a thing. Okay.
Okay.
Like, I mean, maybe something has changed about the law since I graduated law school 17 years ago. But back then they were like, no, I mean, there's certain places that recognize a common law. But there are very specific things that have to be in place in those jurisdictions. Like, I mean, it's not just like we lived together for 7 years and as a common law, as a husband and wife, therefore we are husband and wife. It's not at all like that at all. So common law marriage is not a thing. Okay. It's just not. Otherwise, I mean, if it was a legal thing, then we would have had gay marriage a long time ago. Right? I mean, if you could just
Yeah,
you
I have
could
no
just live
idea.
with someone and declare yourselves married, you don't need somebody else to tell you, okay, you're married legally
Right.
or not, right? If you
Right.
just can declare yourself married. You can't just declare yourself married. That's not how
But I mean,
the contract of marriage works in the States legally.
but what happens if you were to like break up and you've been together for 10 years and there's a battle over assets or something? Like, how would that work?
It would
Even if you're not
depend
married?
on, I mean, you're not married. You don't it would depend on like things like is the house titled in your name? Even if you're not married, are you both titled on the house or the car?
So even if one person's not on the title, they can't fight for it because of any kind of common law marriage.
There's common law, like I said, common law marriage isn't a thing. It's not a legally recognized basis for marriage. You can't just declare yourself married.
I need to tell my friend Odessa this. Her and her fiance have been like engaged for like 18 years.
Yeah, well, they're not. I mean,
She's
they
like,
may
we're
have
common law married. I'm like, well, I guess you're not.
Well, it's not common law married, but should they break up, they could fight each other for certain property rights, but the laws of marriage and equitable distribution of marriage wouldn't be the applicable law. You know, it
Mhm.
would be standard other kinds of property. It would be like if you and I had a contract dispute,
Yeah.
you know, or, you know, because their relationship, I mean, if they're both titled on the house or something like that, if Odessa's name's not on the house, she has no legal right to it, even though she's been living there for 18 years or something, you know what I mean? Or the other way around. He may
Mhm.
not. You know, there's no legal basis in common law marriage to give you that right to marriage.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
So basically,
learned
that
something
means Nick would still get nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, he has paternity rights, so he has
right.
rights as the father of Vera.
Right. But
and-
as
and-
far as like material things.
Yeah, and like the house, often like if there's children involved, and I know I didn't mention this with Odessa because I know Odessa doesn't have kids, right? So, but as far as yeah, like if you're the primary parent, and you know, say you're Nick and you're the primary parent, but you don't work and you're not married. What? Hold on, stop. That's my son.
Was that baby frauded?
That's baby frauded. Just walked in the door.
What? Wait, what?
Shut up. I did not know that was going to happen today. Hi. That is my kid.
Hello.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Hey, no wonder the dogs were getting all excited. I'm like looking at the time going, he's not.
I thought you were being robbed, and I just sat here. I was like, wait, who's knocking at the door? Like,
Well, I'm hearing the door unlock because it's a fingerprint door. And I'm looking at the time. I'm like, is there a reason why I home from work early? Hi.
I was like, that robber's dressed nicely.
That robber is dressed very nicely.
Meanwhile, I just assumed it was someone you knew because I like obviously someone isn't just gonna like walk in your door while you're recording a podcast.
Here, give me a quick
I mean,
side
you never
hug.
know, Becca. We're in the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding, right? All right.
Well, we were talking about Jen
And we're
looking
back.
confused. No.
Sorry, y'all. My kid from college just walked in the door, unexpectedly surprising me. So where were we?
We were
Oh,
talking about Jen confused.
yes,
No.
we
And
were
then
talking about
Nick.
Jen confused, and then we were talking about Nick. And the other thing that
Your friends.
Alina,
Yeah.
Alina and Daniel also said, which has nothing to do with the Davises, but they mentioned how how we were talking about the sign in the Merrifields house that was the scripture passage from First Corinthians.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So they said, yes, one of their signs has that, but there's another sign in another room that like is just stuff they made up.
Is it? Because I haven't been. I've seen it. They flash to it. It's like outside. It's in Garrick's bedroom.
Yeah,
Well-
I tried to see if they had it in this episode. They didn't, but like I want to go back and try to find it because now I want to know what the heck it is.
I think I saw it too. It was a flash of it, and I thought I did see it this episode, but I could be wrong. I probably am wrong. Where they were showing Miriam the Garrick's bedroom, because that's how Danielle referred to it, right? This is
Right.
Garrick's big whatever she called it. And so it was like outside his closet or something, and it was like some wooden or something. Yeah, and you're nodding. Yeah, I'm like, I saw it, but I couldn't get enough of what it said. And I'm not obviously familiar enough with Bible passages and scripture to know, like, on site what it might be.
Yeah.
So-
well, according to they know scripture too because they're both pastors. So
I would
they
say.
right. So they were like I was like, oh, was I wrong about the scripture text for the other one? They were like, no, that was right. But there's another one with like just crap they made up.
See, I miss out on all these details because I'm typing. I'm like looking
Right.
down typing and I'm like not catching the little things happening.
That's why there's 3 of us.
Yes. Yes.
True, but we need you because we'd be terrible scribes.
We
So
tried.
thank you
We
for-
tried.
Yeah, that one time it was not good.
It was good.
But they also
Uh.
said that thanks to Lexi, they call Ashley Trashly, and
Oh
like
my God.
they were literally like laughing hysterically about Jesus jizz, and so they are like huge fans.
Okay, so the
Well-
religious people are okay with our Jesus jizz and
Yeah, oh yeah, most of my pastor friends would be.
Which I
That's
think is
awesome.
hilarious because I got the term Jesus jizz from my pastor friend,
Right.
Kelsey.
this is amazing.
So,
It makes me want to go back to church.
you know,
Yay!
yeah, I know, right? She posted a picture the other day. Like, I don't know, like she's got this new stole, and I don't know, just like, she's just looking super cute. She is the sweetest, most adorable looking thing I've ever seen in my whole life. If you thought you looked young, Becca, she looked really young. I know I've showed you pictures. Anyway, she had her like red Doc Marten, like patent leather Doc Martens on and stuff. And she's like rocking it. I was like, oh my God, see, like with you guys are like, look at the really cool pastors I know.
I
No.
mean, there are really cool pastors out there, especially like women pastors who are like being cool and doing really
That-
awesome stuff and kicking ass and taking names,
That's right.
like
that's right. So-
metaphorically, not literally. Because
Sharing.
but
Sharing is caring.
yeah,
Speaking of sharing, Nick
Sharing what?
sharing the bed
Oh.
or the hot tub.
that
Yeah, so
segue
he-
just died. Anyway,
He I was like, what are we talking about?
Wait,
I was thinking of snacks. My brain was going elsewhere.
I was very confused as to what we were going for that too, so it's okay.
Yeah, but you know what? Sharing cuddles, because he was talking about sleeping in the bed, and he's like, and you're gonna get a lot of cuddles. And I was like, you like went on like 2 dates with this chick. It was just very creepy to me.
The whole thing is very weird. It goes to the whole again. Well, I'll talk about it more with what's his name, but this whole like we're the fake dating. Like let's just like even if we're gonna pretend like it's not fake, like you want us to believe that this chick is gonna come over and spend the weekend after one date with the wives and one date with the husband. Like really? Like you want us to believe that this is actually happening?
I think her psycho ass already moved in, and they were just like, okay, just pretend to pack a suitcase and walk around the house, and come back in the front door. She looks like she probably inserted herself in really soon, and she's probably already living there.
Can we talk about like her story about lamb's blood?
Okay, yes.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
so then we're going into that. So now they're
You're like, let's get to it already. Let's get to it.
okay. So they're having a conversation, and she's very extra in her storytelling. And she talks
she's
about working,
otherworldly, Lexi.
right?
Not
Right,
entirely
she's
on
not
this
completely on this plane, right?
And we know that.
No, you are
we-
not, young lady.
I think we can all agree to that. She was talking about how she worked in like a factory for pet food. So there was a bunch of meat like lamb that was being processed, and that included all kinds of parts of lamb. And anywho, she was covered in blood from the lamb, which I was having images of the movie Carrie. I don't know about you guys, but like Carrie was the first thing that came into my head.
Before you complete this visual, let's understand how we got to this story first. Let's back up. As they're eating Dollar Tree charcuterie vegetables, they're Galileo is saying something about how he, oh, it's so great that you are so agreeable to everything we say, are all these oddly specific issues in their family. And she's like, oh yeah, that's fine. And he's like, yeah, that's great. And it's great. You're not really allergic to any foods or anything, are you? Because it was totally an unnatural segue for him to say this. But he's just like, they're talking about like, oh yeah, this is great. We all get along, and you're not allergic to any foods, are you?
Well, he's got to make sure when the other wives cook this new chick dinner that they're not including any foodborne food allergies.
That conceptually, but in this point in the conversation, it was not natural.
I would like to point out that his segue was pretty much as awkward as our segue just was.
100%. Clearly, we need Nick to think for us.
Yeah,
we need him to think for us, or Harrison Bucker. He can think for us too, because we just belong in the kitchen.
Yep.
But
sorry,
he's a kicker. You're a kicker. Second least important job on the team.
Doesn't his mom have a doctorate? Anyway.
Yeah, she's a physics doctorate.
Anyway.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway. So
yeah, the lamb blood.
So he's asking, oh yeah, you're not allergic to any foods, are you? Well, actually, I'm allergic to lamb. And oh, really? How did you find that out? Because that's a completely natural and normal conversation. Right. And she says, oh, I was working at this factory. Now proceed with your gory details.
Yeah. She's like, I was covered in blood. First of all, why are you covered in blood on your skin? Why is there blood on your skin? Number one.
Right. So like factory workers that I've seen who work in food products are like covered from head to toe with like
I have been in them multiple times for work related things. During it, I get covered head to toe in all of that garb. Like just I'm not actually processing the food, but I'm just there looking.
Maybe she's a serial killer. She's lying. She's like it's not lamb. Maybe she's just like a psychopath and is.
Do you think she was sacrificing lambs?
Yeah, maybe. I think she's like
that's how she found out.
Maybe she's like a Satan occultist. I don't know. That's not the word. I'm saying I'm gonna ruin it all. Don't at me, people. Whatever you want to call the people that worship the devil.
Well, actually, Satanists don't do sacrifices like that usually.
That we know of, right?
Well, I mean, they're usually.
She would know. Becca would know. I think.
No, like weirdly, like I know weird stuff, but like most Satanists are pretty chill.
Right. That's a whole other
That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
But like
most Satanists are pretty chill.
They are
That's a
because
great
They don't
like,
even they don't
if
believe
I
Satan
wasn't
even exists.
titling these
Right.
episodes by the name of the episode that we're covering, that would be the title of this episode. That's the subtitle.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Somebody's biography somewhere.
I don't know how you get covered in blood and then
But-
develop a rash because you.
Well, I have those questions, but then I also am like the religious imagery.
Yes,
Can you please talk about that?
these
So like the whole
troll.
like
This was epic storytelling, editing, whatever.
So in the Christian tradition, right, like Jesus is the Lamb of God, and like there's this idea of Jesus' sacrifice on the cross is like the blood of the lamb. And so like as she's talking about being covered in lamb's blood, I'm just like, is this supposed to be like religious imagery or is this just gross?
I suspect that all of that is made up as well. You know, the whole let's go into the story, but like I suspect the story is entirely made up entirely by the story editors, producers for that very purpose, so they can have that scene.
I think she just made it up because she's a psychopath.
That's probably equally plausible.
She
Probably
probably
more
like
so.
she probably was in the factory. She took off her like little hazmat suit and was like, "I'm gonna roll around in the blood of the death of the
Oh, gross.
poor lambs." Yeah,
Oh, and we were just talking about being vegetarian and all that
I
kind of
know. It makes me cry. I'm gonna start crying in a second. I don't have the energy to cry.
Poor thing.
But you know what's crazy is Jasmine's like, I would like a stable environment for my son, and this is it or whatever, something like that. I'm like, no, or
Well,
maybe it is, but you
she
know.
explained it though, which was interesting because before she just said that, and I was like, what does she mean? But she had an extra sentence in there where I don't remember the exact words, but it was something like, well, I need help with my kids. So, like, there's more childcare built into this system, basically.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
She's not wrong though.
I'm like, that's
Yeah,
fair.
that's true.
You know, I've been joking about that on the podcast the whole time. Like, my tired ass would really love a village to help raise my
Right.
child.
Right. See,
Right.
you need Crazy Aunt Cat to come in and take Theo off your hands for a few days and return him to you full of processed sugar and sticky.
Please don't do that.
I won't. I promise.
But like she's not wrong. I mean, one of the big one of the big things about this type of family system is that like the kids have multiple elders to look up to and take care of them.
Right.
So I thought
Yeah.
that was interesting that
It's
she
interesting, and then it's also interesting that all the women work. So that would mean that Nick Galileo would be the sole provider, childcare provider,
Mhm.
which fucking terrifies me.
Can you imagine him? But what do you think he does with Vera all day wearing that pink suit of his?
Listen, he could be the best dad in the world, and I'm just judging him. He really could.
Yeah.
But I think he's so egotistical and he comes off nice, but I think he's a raging narcissist, just playing nice for TV. I really do,
Well,
because any
clearly,
man
I
that
think the fact that he literally thinks he's the center of his universe with his
Right.
wives.
he literally said it. You're right.
Yeah.
He did.
That's why he's called Galileo. Like,
Yeah.
there's a reason, like, that he screams narcissism. You know, it's because he thinks he literally puts himself at the center of the universe.
And I worry like how and what he is teaching Vera and potentially a new stepchild.
Teaching them their life, right? I
Right.
mean, that's what we do with our
He's
kids.
probably sitting there and saying to Vera, okay, so you're going to learn how to cook, to clean, to work, to wash my feet, to whatever. Like, I just can see it right now. Like, he's probably like grooming his children to.
Washing my feet, though, that's like a religious image.
Oh, I
That's
didn't
a
mean-
religion thing.
Oh, I don't know. It just came to me. Is it?
well, we're doing that
Oopsies.
and lamb's blood. Why not?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot about the Jesus commercials on the Super Bowl about the washing the
Washing-
feet.
Yeah, it was in the
I was
Bible.
like, oh, okay.
right?
Yeah.
It's in the Bible,
Gotcha.
right? That's where that comes from, Becca?
Yeah, so Jesus washed the feet of the disciples, and then we celebrate that on Maundy Thursday, which is the Thursday of Holy Week before Easter.
Does that mean I should help like wash my friend's feet to like be like, I don't know, like, look at me, I'm helping. I'm caring for my mankind friends.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be like an imagery thing for servanthood, like because Jesus did it, and like Jesus didn't have to do that because Jesus was Jesus.
You know where I've also seen it?
At pedicure salons.
On TLC's For Weddings, there's couples that where the wife, after they get married, like at the reception, they've done these like things where they like wash the feet of their new husband in front of everybody at the reception.
But the husband doesn't wash their feet.
I was gonna say that was my next question. Do they wash each other's?
I don't recall seeing that. I can't say for sure, but I recall the wife washing the feet.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel about that.
Really?
Yep.
Really?
Do you
Interesting.
think Galileo actually washes himself in the shower? Or do you think he just gets in the shower with all of his wives and they do all the work for him in the
He
shower
doesn't
too?
get dirty. He's
That's right.
he's self-cleaning.
If he's taking care of a baby, he is getting dirty.
He's self-cleaning though. He's
Oh my gosh. No, he just bathes himself in the hot tub with all the ladies around.
Well, and
Ew!
this kind of slides into the next part of the episode when the producer asks him what the rules of intimacy are, and he's like, "Oh, rules!
Whatever I
What
want him to be."
rules? What rules?"
Yeah.
So that's why I was kind of having this image in my head of like people in the shower and people naked everywhere, because we were questioning what the dynamics of the women are in the bed, right? We were wondering.
I
And
suspect
feel
there's
like
something.
there is, because he pretty much said there are no rules. So I interpreted that as like, well, whatever happens, happens. And
they're all kind of
there and
doing whatever feels good. And
that's
they
what I
like.
think. I don't know. What do
They've
you think?
never clarified one way or the other about that.
Which is
Because-
interesting, because then why would they have a separate boom boom room if there weren't rules?
Maybe just for some private time, but every now and
that's
then
a
laying
rule.
When he
bed.
wants to get
Right?
like nasty,
I don't think it
with
was a
one.
rule. I think
Well, I mean,
it was
it's
just
a
like,
rule, as in like this is a space for like sexual intercourse, right?
But maybe not the only space.
right. Like
Well,
I could say
didn't
my
that, but it's
bedroom.
still a rule.
I wouldn't call it a rule. I would
wouldn't
just
say
say
it's a rule.
it's like sometimes I fuck on my couch, sometimes I fuck on my bed.
Well,
Like
right.
Becca, if you were to come to my apartment, I wouldn't be like, hey, here's my bedroom where I have sex and this is my couch where
Right, but
I've
they
actually-
do. They have a literal room and bed that has been like deemed for
Right.
that purpose.
But that doesn't preclude them from also having activities in the 12-foot bed.
Oh, right, for sure. But like that's still a rule that like that's what that room is for. Like no one's going in that room to read.
Maybe they are.
I doubt it.
I mean, we don't know. Well, Galileo
Danielle's
might.
plan-
I mean, the
maybe-
women can't because they're out working all day. So they can't have time to read.
you don't have time.
Were you gonna say that's where Danielle's plants are?
Yeah, it's the greenhouse.
The greenhouse.
Oh, God.
Anyway, well, so here's the thing, right? Like he says there are no rules, but there are clearly unwritten rules, right? Like there's clearly rules that are governing how they all function, because you can't have that many people in a family system and not have
Yeah.
unwritten rules.
They're just his rules that he's
But they're
manipulated
just,
them to believe.
I think, yeah, and I think that point just makes him more of a narcissist, because most, at least all the polyamory people I know, the people who are polyamorists, like they have rules, like with all of the couple, all of the different dynamics, there are very specific rules. Like this boyfriend isn't going to bitch about his live-in partner to his girlfriend. Like that's a rule, right? You know what I mean? Then they all have very clear things, boundaries and rules and stuff. I don't think in this family they have like clearly delineated rules. I think they're whatever Nick wants them to be. And when you have like the rules of dating, which, they talk about like the rules of intimacy, like, oh, like you've seen it with other couples in the past seasons, right? Where you can have kiss, but no intimacy before this, or, you've slept with it. There's always the husband slept with the potential sister wife too soon, and she was banished,
This man convinced these women to marry each other. Like he literally convinced them
Mm-hmm.
to get married. I think he is a smooth talker, and that makes him so dangerous. Now I see through his bullshit. We see through his bullshit, but I mean, they
He
obviously
fall
don't.
for his charm.
Yeah. Like I can see him, I'm not saying that they are or aren't bisexual, but I can see him manipulating them into being open to that without maybe them having those feelings of bisexuality. That's
Like
what I
he
think.
groomed them
Yes.
to be
I think he's
okay
a
with it.
groomer. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Totally. He's a groomer.
If they weren't bisexual already, he groomed them to be.
100%.
Okay.
Yes. That's what I think.
That's
And maybe
good.
they are, but I don't, I just,
Yeah.
yeah. He knows how to pick them to be able to manipulate them. That's my opinion. And I don't think Jasmine's going to work out because I think she's not going to.
All
She's
in
putting on a
line.
good show for the cameras and everything, but he can't control her. She's a wild card. That's my guess.
True. And I was thinking as they're having, okay, can we talk about the conversation in the hot tub? The three
Sorry.
questions.
Okay.
The three
all right.
questions.
So Jasmine
Take us
says,
through this.
she's like, I know a game and it's called Three Questions. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be some sexual, like,
Yeah, some like
five
crazy, let's get to know you deep shit, right?
Right. And then she's like, it's giving deep, meaningful reasons for your answers. Like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, here we go. I'm like waiting to hear this like fascinating first question of, making me really, really think hard and long about what I would say. And the first question is, what is your favorite color and why is it so meaningful to you and important or whatever? She's like, I'm blue. My favorite color is blue. It's like blue, like the ocean, and how mysterious it is.
I've ever.
And I'm looking at her like, is she fucking serious right now?
Every shade of blue I've run across. It's just so blue. It's mysterious.
She should have said red, like the lamb's blood, but she didn't.
I'm like, this woman thinks that she is deep and insightful. Like she really thinks this is deep getting to know you personal shit. Like this to her is that.
Right.
Not like what's your like childhood trauma memory that shaped you for the rest of your life, not like real things you want to know about them.
Before you move in with them in their big ass bed with 20 people. But okay, so then April answers and she says, I like red because I'm a Leo and it whatever her birthstone. And it's a symbolism of power. I was like, okay. But she's playing along, but I think in the back of her head, she's like, this bitch cray.
Yeah.
But then April said it was a red flag when I'm like, all right, thank God somebody's seeing something. Like,
yeah. Well, yeah, Danielle, they show in like an OTF interview or something where she's like, yeah, okay.
Don't ask me my favorite color in the hot tub.
Yeah, she's like, I'm in the hot tub. I don't want to be talking about my favorite color. Right. I was like, ooh,
right.
Danielle's a little spicy.
Well, then we go on to the second important question.
Oh, God.
On how I'm like, okay, it's going to get better. It's going to get better from here.
There's like a plan for all this that's going to unveil everything.
Yeah. So we're starting off small, working our way up. Okay. So then she asks, what is your favorite form of water? And I was like, is this a fucking science class? What form? A solid liquid? Like, yeah.
That's what I seriously thought she meant, like solid liquid or gas.
That's what I thought. I was like, is she talking about
I like ice? Like, what do you want me to say here?
Right. And then she's like, oh, I like the ocean. And I'm like, oh, that's what she meant.
Yeah, you and I were thinking alike, Becca, because I was like, I think I like liquid the best, unless it's summertime. Then I like it frozen.
Ice is fun to keep things cold. Right? Like, I don't know.
I was like, what is happening?
Well, science is the basis for their spirituality. So,
right.
Liquid, solid, or gas makes sense.
Right. Well, then Jen's questionable brain is like, I like a waterfall because it's a spectacle. I was like, wait.
I like spectacles and
sparkles. And I was like, of course you do. Of course you do.
I feel like if like we had to figure out like the artistic embodiment of her, it would be like Lisa Frank.
Oh my God.
It'd be the dolphin Lisa Frank,
yeah,
like the
totally.
Fun,
or like the unicorns. Like I feel like this woman like goes to the bathroom and comes to unicorns.
Oh my God, I'm dying.
Don't do Lisa Frank like that, Becca. Don't do Lisa Frank like that. I'm offended.
That's what she reminds me of every time I see her.
Oh my God.
Like super cute, but also like Lisa Frank, right? Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready for the third question?
Third deep.
You're
Okay,
not
now
ready.
this is where it's all gonna come together, right? Like, okay, here's the final question that's gonna pull all this together, and it's gonna
Right.
unlock this deep personal analysis of who you are as an individual. And
Right.
go with question number 3.
Yes. What is your favorite animal? My 3-year-old probably asked that question to her classmates. And Nick was like, well, I like a spider because they're bigger than men. Like the
Women
female
are bigger
spider
than men.
is bigger than the male spider. And he likes how spiders capture their prey. And I'm like, bro, okay.
And they were like,
Whatever.
yeah. Did you see the way they were fawning over him for his answer? Did you
Well,
Yeah.
notice that?
And
He was
one
kissing
of
all of
them,
them.
well, and one of them was like, "That's how you got us, right? We're your prey." And I was like, "This is creepy."
It was very
Yeah.
strange.
Yeah, it was like when they were talking, I forgot Nick was even in the hot tub, but when Nick's talking, they're like coming in their panties right there in the hot tub.
There was wine involved too. Like they looked like they were starting to get a little sloshed.
But not Jasmine, because I noticed that here's your non-alcoholic.
Right. So is she pregnant or is she just not drinking or is she what's her story? I don't remember.
Why you got to ask questions like that?
I
Why
don't
does it got to
know.
be an issue if somebody's not
No,
drinking?
it's not an issue. But
But
I'm just
why is it even like? And I'm not yelling at you about this.
no, it's
Lexi.
okay. It's
Why did
okay.
they feel the need to point it out? Why is alcohol the only drug you have to justify not taking?
That is true. That is
Yeah.
true. Oh, you talking about like how producers were like, and here's your non-alcoholic
Right.
beverage
They
And
rather
then
than just
you-
handing her
deal
the
about
drink.
it.
They made a deal of it, and then you just said, "Oh, is she pregnant? Why is she not drinking?" Why
That's
does
true.
everybody have to question it? Because
you're right.
everybody drinks, and those who don't are not in line with society.
I
Every
guess
time,
like
well, so
I-
like every time I do church stuff, right? Because they do communion, where
Right.
it's historically wine, right? But oftentimes they'll have grape juice as an option. I always have to be like, I have to tell them ahead of time because a lot of time they'll pour stuff in the big cup, which is called a chalice, and I'm supposed to drink it, and I'm like, I can't. I'm allergic to alcohol. Like, I will get sick if I drink it. I need grape juice. And they're like, I didn't know you could be allergic to alcohol. I'm like, well, I'm not
Yeah.
just allergic to alcohol. I'm allergic to other things too that are related to alcohol. But like, I cannot drink alcohol. I will get sick. I won't
Yeah.
die, but I'll
Yeah.
just get really sick.
Right.
And
People,
like,
it's like such a big deal when you make, like, I've said that too. I've said that at restaurants. Like when, are there any allergies? I'll say that because I don't like, I don't like eating food that's been cooked in alcohol. And and not all alcoholics are like that. Not everybody in recovery is like that.
Yeah.
It's personal for a variety of reasons, but that's just one of my things. So I say that because I don't want like the white wine cooked risotto, you know what I mean? So I like say that. And so sometimes I get it, what? I didn't know you could be, which is unprofessional coming from a waiter. Servers.
people can be allergic
Listen
to
up.
like literally anything.
I could have sworn she was drinking at the brewery. That's why I'm confused.
Wasn't she drink? Look, I don't remember.
Wasn't she drinking like
She could have been, and maybe she's not drinking now. See, this is the thing. Why is this even a question? Why is it even?
I
an
don't know. I'm
issue?
just curious. There's a
No,
lot
I
of
know.
things
It's
that-
just
Because the
society.
show
It's
made
a-
a big deal about it.
Yeah, it was
because
just
society.
weird.
It's a rhetorical question. I'm asking it of
Yeah.
society in general, right? This is a thing. It's like a whole thing, like mommy wine culture, and why is it, just as a complete aside, coming from me as somebody in recovery who doesn't drink, you as somebody with a you know physical composition that you don't drink, or you could just choose not to drink, whatever.
Right.
But we both don't drink, and it's very, very important. It's critical that's maintained. You can't just have a sip or anything like that. And
Right.
the extent to which it's such a big deal that they make it a big deal because it's a plot line. Like, why is it a
Right.
plot point? Why
I'm
in
wondering if that'll
society?
come up later.
I feel like there's something we're missing.
Yeah, well, I feel like because they haven't finished the night, right? Like we're gonna finish the night in the next episode, so I wonder if it's related to something somehow. Because why else would
Correct.
they have made a big deal about that?
That's a
It seems
very
weird.
good point. I mean, yeah. I know
When I
it was
filmed The
not
Single
popular.
Life and we were doing cheers as I was pregnant and I had obviously like apple juice and stuff that was not alcohol, they never pointed that out. It just looked different. I
Right.
held up the thing and it was
Right,
but nobody
Yeah.
said anything.
Yeah, they
Right.
never addressed that on Last Resort because Miko nor I drank, and they never really addressed that.
because it wasn't a plot point, but interesting. They did make it a point here, so I wonder. You're right. I wonder if it's going to come up.
That'd be my guess.
I just have the feel that there's something off about Jasmine and I have a feeling
Going to turn out she's pregnant with some
I
other
think she's
dude and they're
pregnant.
gonna
I
be-
think she's pregnant. And then not because like physically or not because like I don't think she's drinking. I just have this feeling. Like that's my intuition. I don't know.
Interesting. And then
Sure.
that's going to be, oh well, she's not a fit with us because she obviously got pregnant by this other guy. And
Oh, they won't care. Nick will take her in still. I don't
oh
know. I
god,
don't know. It's weird.
the whole hot tub scene was uncomfortable and
It
weird.
was very uncomfortable.
I will say that was uncomfortable, but I laughed really hard when she like face planted into the big ass bed because I would totally do the same thing. Like
No
if I
kidding,
walked
right?
into a room and saw a 12-foot bed, the first thing I want to do is face plant into it.
I'm going to throw myself into the middle of it, right?
I'd want to jump on it. Well, then I
Yeah,
was thinking about
100%.
like logistically how they get out of bed because like there was the large comforter, right? They're not separate comforters. So like if the person in the middle had to get up to pee or something, are you going to disturb your neighbors? Like you have to then
No, they have to
climb
like
out.
shimmy.
I don't know.
Yeah, they have to shimmy down.
Yeah,
like,
I
you saw
don't.
her do
Yeah,
that.
and
Yeah.
I was noted, and I said this in text to you guys, but when they showed the bedroom, there's no bedside tables on either side of the bed.
No, they can't fit it, right? There's no
No,
room.
there was room. There was actually room. And I was like, what? Whoever sleeps on the sides, the edges of the bed, where they? It's not realistic to not have an end table next to your bed.
Right. I need my
Put your
emotional
phone
support
on
water
at least.
bottle. I need my alarm. Well, I guess my phone is my alarm clock.
Yeah,
But
where are you putting your phone?
right. Where
Meanwhile, I'm like, I need my meds. I need where to put my glasses. I need to like put my
Exactly.
stuff for my night guard. Like,
where's my CPAP?
I
Where's
need my
CPAP?
night guard. I need my eye mask. I
like-
need my vape pen. I need my
exactly.
and they
Yeah.
got nothing.
Yeah. They have each other. That's what they have.
Well, maybe
That's-
if two people are in the boom boom room, that'll at least open up a little bit more room for them.
Maybe they have little tables that sit on top of the bed. You know, like little sort of like not tables, what do you call them? Trays. Yeah, like
Yeah.
trays that go on couches. Maybe they have like trays that fit on the bed.
Sorry.
But when you go to
have-
sleep at night on a regular night, where are you putting your phone?
I don't know, but they're like maybe there's little dividers.
Do you know there's a scene in a movie, I forget what movie it is, where like you know, there's a hotel chain that has like those kind of trays that go on the bed. They're like lap desks that you can use in a bed.
Okay.
And so like there's a scene where like someone runs into someone's like hotel room and they're like, "Is this your sex board?" And like every
Sex
time
board.
like I have to look up
board.
what movie that is, but it was so fun. Like I literally just like fell off the couch. I was laughing so hard at that scene. And like anytime I see like a lap desk or like one of those tray things on a bed, all I can think of is this your sex board.
My
Anyway,
laptop that I'm talking to you guys on is on a lap desk.
your sex board.
So it's my sex board. Okay. It's cushioned. It's got cushions underneath and a little thing that flips out so I can pop up the angle. I can change the angle.
See, you just completely described what they probably have in bed. A little laptop holder.
But
that
no,
they
where
keep
does the
water
laptop,
bottles.
where does it go? Like when I go to sleep, I would have to move it off to the side.
Right? But there's enough room in between them, maybe.
I'm just like, when you go to bed, where are you putting your phone? Your phone can't plug in anywhere.
Somebody DM somebody in the Davis family? We have to know this information. Why is production not asking these important questions?
Why are they putting this on TV as if we're going to believe that this is a real bedroom? Because there's nothing real about this bedroom. Because if it was a real bedroom, they would have bedside tables.
You know what? They probably all have their own separate bedrooms in some way. I know it's not a huge house, but like, and then that's just their orgy room. The boom boom room really isn't the boom boom room. The boom boom room is probably like one of the
If you want
wives.
to actually sleep,
Yeah,
you
and
go
then
to
the big bed is the orgy room when they all just hook up.
I want,
So-
you know, that's
Breaking news, I looked up what movie it was from, and it's from Jeff Who Lives at Home.
I've never heard of that.
never
movie.
heard of it.
Oh, it's such a cute movie. It has what's his name?
Is this a really like dorky church movie?
No, I don't just watch dorky church movies. I watch lots
I
of
didn't
stuff.
say you did. I didn't say you did.
Do
I'm
you
just
think a
asking
church
you-
movie would talk about a sex?
It
Whatever
has like
thing?
Jason Segel in it, and Ed Helms, and like Susan Sarandon and Judy Greer. Like it
Oh,
has a lot of people in it.
okay,
I'm not,
okay.
I'm
That
not
sounds
making
like a
this
legit
up.
movie.
Anyway, it's a hilarious movie,
I
and like
take
they
back my
legit
accusation.
they burst into the room and they're like, "Is this your sex board?" Anyway,
What's a sex board?
it's like I forget what hotel chain it is, but they have like those lap desks.
Yes,
that, like,
but what?
go on-
But what's a sex board?
it's not right. Like
I
the
don't
point is,
understand
like,
what a sex
the
board
person
is.
thinks they're having sex and they're not, and so they go in and think it's some kinky thing, and it's just like a lap desk.
What would you use a sex board for? I'm
Like a
trying to
wedge pillow?
imagine. I'm trying to imagine
Like
using
a
lap
paddle?
desk.
Like, do you hit somebody?
I
with
don't
it?
Like-
know.
How would you use a lap desk sexually?
Listen,
kind of
Katrina
kink
can't
is
do her
that?
research because she can't watch porn in Virginia still. So she
Right.
really is asking these questions.
Right.
She
But you
can't
can
look it up.
marry. But you can marry your cousin.
Right.
Yes. Yep.
But fuck you, Glenn Youngkin is like vetoing bills left and right now because because fuck you, Glenn Youngkin. So
Yeah. So back to the episode. So then
No
Nick
more sex
says
boards.
there
Nick
was something else that he was doing that was really stupid, and I was going to tell the story, and then I forgot it, so it just went away. Sorry.
it's all good. Well, then Nick was like, hang back, Danielle, so we can talk. And he wanted to just talk to her about the future of the family dating and yada yada. Are you really okay with this? Which, of course, she's lying to him and herself by saying she
Yeah.
is, but we know she's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Right.
So that
Right.
was the end of the Davis family this episode.
Yes.
Should we go to the Ryan family or the Merrifields?
Do the
Mine's will be
Ryans.
quick. Yeah.
Okay. So Justin is meeting Yary on a date. I don't know why.
He says
And
they've been dating,
no,
which I don't. Yeah,
But meanwhile, she's like, "You have no time for me." So clearly, they've only seen each other like 3 times or whatever.
do you think they
Yeah.
filmed all of these dates in the same day at the same Mexican restaurant?
no, but I do think in a few days, because by the time they set up, it could be like 6 hours for them to get one scene at a restaurant.
Right.
So
But it is all different Mexican restaurants, which is interesting.
Okay.
get in the crew there. Yeah, I wouldn't think it was all in one day, but it's probably all within 3 days. Each day
Okay,
was
so
a
they've
different
been
date.
quote unquote dating, but whatever.
Yeah, so he says that things are going real slow and he's looking for someone to make a commitment right now. That's really, really triggering and scary. Like,
No, he's
commitment
like,
right
he's like,
now.
it doesn't need to be Yary. It just needs
Yeah.
to be somebody.
yeah. Yeah. So I noticed that Yary was flirting and smiling because Becky wasn't there with them. And all of a sudden she's being more outgoing but then she goes on to say she only wants him for her. She only wants a man, like a husband
Yeah.
and wife. She doesn't want another wife. And I'm like, why are you even entertaining this, except for the fact that it's for TV at this point? Because
Again, I ask if they want us to believe that this is not fake. All right. Assume, for the sake of argument, assuming arguendo, that this is real. They want us to believe that this woman who's never heard of polygamy is so in love with this guy that she's going to consider it after 2 dates when she's like, no, I just want Amanda myself. And they're
she
like,
said
well,
that pretty much over and
maybe-
over again too.
maybe she'll get over that. What? No. What? No.
Maybe we don't have a backup plan in their dating app profile, so we have to just use this Yary chick and get the best footage from her and play along.
Right. 100%. That's what it was.
Yeah.
needed
Well,
something.
then Ryan was talking about how his wife doesn't share his wife with other dudes because somehow that conversation came up.
Oh yeah, because
And-
Yari was like, well, I mean, you don't want your wife with other people, so like, I don't want my husband with other people. And he's like, well, no, I
Right.
wouldn't want her with. She wouldn't be with other dudes. No, dudes, no, because toxic masculinity, threatening, threat.
Yep. And Yari was like, well, I'm taking my time because it's new. I'm like, you're taking your time because you're on TV. Like, this is not a thing.
Yeah.
And she wants more time to get to know him without Becky. Red flag. There's been red flags from the beginning.
Again, they want us to believe that this is a real scenario where she'd really be contemplating dating this guy, but without his wife. Like, no.
Right. And Yari did say it's not normal when someone is in a hurry. So she's seeing the red flag in him. Well, obviously he's married and that's not what she's interested in. But
Not that he cares about her. He just wants any warm body. Doesn't have to be Yari. I just want someone who can commit right now.
right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Any warm body will do. Why is he
I-
so has to be right now?
I will say when he like closed the he walked her to the car and like closed the door, you could tell that he was just like done with it. He was like, I don't want anything to do with this chick anymore. She clearly doesn't want to move at my pace. I just want someone who is willing to like get with me immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, like you said at the beginning of it, there was like, it sounded like he was going to tell her that he was going to break it off because he wanted to move more quickly than she was willing to. Break it off like they have something to break off. Like what?
Yeah.
So I thought that's where it was going to go. And then it was, and then they show Becky talking about, well, maybe she'll let in, like as if it was really a legitimate possibility of her joining them. And I'm like, I just, no, this family is just no. I can't.
Yeah. That was it. I summed it up in about 6 sentences. Their whole segment.
Told you it would be quick.
Yep.
Yep.
So now let's go to the Merrifields. So, okay.
Merrifields.
So
The
they're back
Terravilles.
they said they've been back in Colorado for a few months. That's a lie because her stomach has gone from 0 to 100. Like she looks
Yeah.
like she's significantly more pregnant than she was.
It looks like she's about to pop.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that was kind of bullshit. She said her pregnancy
few
is
months, like
few
7 or
months.
8.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's a few months.
I mean,
Right.
Sure. Okay, we'll go with that. Yeah.
Listen, my stomach blew up at 4 months and it stayed the same till almost the end. But like I'm talking there's significant difference in her stomach.
She was wearing like a crop top and like tight, low riding jeans when she was in Brazil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, production, you are not getting one over our heads.
Yeah.
So her pregnancy is going well, and they said that they feel Garrick feels good in the relationship, and
Sure.
all of a sudden they're all happy again, probably because Natalia's not really around. And Nathalia and Garrick have been talking to a lawyer about the K1 process. I think that's bullshit too, but
Yeah.
Danielle struck up a friendship with a woman named Miriam on social media after Miriam reached out to her. So they play this whole scene of like her and Garrick in the airport, and I was thinking Nathalia was going to get off the plane, and they dropped the bomb on us.
Oh no, we've been talking to this other girl.
It's actually Miriam from Detroit.
Danielle has fallen in love with Miriam.
Michigan or somewhere.
Michigan.
Yeah, exactly. Michigan. Somewhere in Michigan. So I was like, this chick definitely slid into her DMs. She had to have watched the show. She comes from a polygamous family. I think
you
she
don't
said
slide into Danielle's DMs without knowing she's a polygamist on the show. Like it just doesn't happen,
Right.
It's not an accident. You're not just, oh, you're cute. You have a cute family. No, she knew exactly what she was doing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And she has a 2-year-old daughter. She's Muslim, so she's very familiar with the lifestyle. Her mother had a sister wife. Nathalia does know about Miriam, that she exists, and she's not happy about it.
So she's like, basically, Nathalia's like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want anything. She's like just pretending that whole thing. It's like she just exists in a world with Garrick and nothing else exists.
Right. And she does not know that Miriam is actually coming to visit them.
Yeah, because secrets always go so well with this couple.
Right. So I'm like, you're starting off the relationship with lies, relationships, plural or whatever, with lies. Like that's to me, omitting information is lying. I will always stand by that.
Oh, yeah.
But
in this case, too. Yeah. You're not telling your fiance that your other potential fiance is coming to the house. Like, no, that's not following the rules as it were, Becca. The rules.
The
Right.
rules.
And I think it was so funny that Garrick was like, I'm nervous. And I'm like, of course you are, because this woman speaks English as her first language. So she's going to see right through your bullshit from the beginning. Whereas, like, he
Well,
could kind of use the
Danielle is the
translator.
one that established the relationship first. So it
Yeah.
wasn't like Garrick fell in love with this girl. Like Garrick established the relationship. Danielle established a relationship, and then so it has to go the other way.
Yeah. And Miriam is like, I'm nervous. I'm nervous about them liking me. And I'm like, girl, get some confidence. You should be nervous about you liking them and not
Yeah.
them liking you. It should be the other way around. Because,
Garrick and his gorgeous blue serial killer eyes.
right. And Garrick thinks she's beautiful, which she is. She's very,
She is. She's gorgeous.
very attractive. Yeah. Yeah. And so here's a quote by Garrick, aka Garlic. When he was talking about Nathalia, he says, I think if Nathalia was to work through some of her problems, her and Miriam would get along real well. And if it gets real serious with Miriam and we know she should be in the family, well, then there's just no choice. She's just going to have to face things, And I'm like, so you're basically.
That's how he handles his whole life, because Danielle has always done. She's always fallen in line.
It's so true, which we come to find out later when she says she has no friends. He's isolated her from everyone, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Which is something that we've talked about before, which, like, why she is so, like, emotional over her connection to this potential sister wife, because it would be the only friend, like, that she would have. She'd have somebody who'd understand her, because she is isolated and Garrick is so wackadoo, and she needs somebody else that she can relate to talk to connect to. So that's why she told Miriam she loves her after only a month.
Right. And she says her only real friend is her sister-in-law. So I guess Garrick allowed her to be friends with her sister-in-law.
The ones that are always coming over to the house.
Yeah, exactly. So Sam and Samantha are coming over to the house, because why not meet the whole family when you just met these people?
Sure.
Right.
Let's just do it all.
Why not?
Yeah, exactly. So her brother Sam and his wife Samantha, who they're calling are the good cop and bad cop. And Garrick says Danielle's parents are both good cop, which I found interesting. So it's like all these people are meeting Miriam, and it's super awkward. I don't know.
Little overwhelming, little awkward. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and let's film a TV show while we're at it.
Exactly. And of course, Sam comes in with the like real information. Like, hey, I've always had reservations about who Garrick picks. I hope he doesn't give her money off the bat, and I hope he sees red flags right away if there are any.
And he doesn't want to rush it. And
yeah. And Miriam goes on to talk about how Danielle is so genuine and she feels like a connection with her. I'm like, oh, blah.
Yeah. So they have a connection. And then, so the conversation with the sister and sister-in-law, Sam and Sam.
Mm-hmm.
This was the conversation where she's like, okay, yeah, but I'm not going to convert.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
let's talk about the scene.
Yeah. Do you want to like walk us through it, Lexi?
Yeah, so Sam and Samantha are like the intelligent, pragmatic, I guess, ones or whatever. So she's like, what are your thoughts on converting to Christianity? Danielle and Garrick are very Christian. What are your thoughts on that? And she said she doesn't have any plans on converting. And Garrick says he wants to be on the same page, like religion-wise. So they had this woman fly out without having any sort of conversation about what their number one priority in life besides their children is their religion.
Because they automatically assumed that she would convert.
Is that what? Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was.
Or they actually had the conversations and they're just doing all this for pretend.
It didn't seem like it. They seemed really shocked when she was like, I have no plans to convert. And like their faces looked like legitimately shocked.
Garrick's face looked the same, but it always looks confused.
Yeah.
I think Garrick and Jen should get together, because then they would just stare at each other all confused all day long. Like,
is he the male Lisa Frank?
Yeah. Isn't there a bear? Like a who? Like a big, I don't remember. I have to look at my Lisa Frank stuff, but
God.
I don't know. It was just like, I don't know. You don't talk. There's certain lifestyle things you need to have a discussion about if it's that important to you.
Right.
And I feel like it
Yeah, I feel like
wasn't
if you're gonna
this.
fly
also-
somebody out,
Well,
you
and it
should
also
know.
bothered me that he didn't even care to learn anything about Islam.
Yes.
So that right.
Yeah.
So then they're like, he and like he's like, oh well, I don't know anything about Islam. I'm like, you flew out a woman who's Muslim and you didn't feel the need to just look up the basic tenets of her faith
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
he assumed she would convert.
Yeah.
This is a guy who has been dating, quote unquote, dating Brazilian women for years and doesn't speak a word of Portuguese.
Mm-hmm.
So like, why would you need to learn anything about your potential sister wife's culture? They did know.
Yeah.
And this is why Garrick makes me so angry, because it's all about him. It's all about what he wants and how he wants the women to be. And so like he just assumes that the women are just going to do whatever the heck he wants. And when the woman is like, no, I don't have any plans to convert, he doesn't know what to do because he just assumed that she would do what he wanted him. He
Because
wanted her
thus
to.
far Danielle has done.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
Nathalia has shown a little bit of moxie where she doesn't seem like she's going to put up with some of his stuff, right? Like, when she was saying all that stuff when they were down in Brazil, whatever, a couple episodes ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Danielle, like you said, is always just fallen in line. So to be challenged in any respect, it's like, I would wonder so how we got exposed to the real Garrick on the cell phone cam
Yes.
footage. I wonder what the real Garrick says about this woman and stuff behind the scenes.
Well, we know
Yeah.
he finds her attractive because in the preview for the next episode, he's like stroking her leg and she is obviously uncomfortable.
I was uncomfortable watching it. I had secondhand creep on that because don't rub my leg. Ew.
Well, and while he was doing it, he's like, by the way, before I was a Christian, I was real playboy. I was not a good guy. As he's like stroking
Ew.
her leg. And I'm like, what?
Didn't he marry Danielle at like 19? How much of a playboy I don't even know how old they were. She's pregnant at 20, so maybe they had a shotgun wedding or something. I don't know.
I don't know. Apparently he got real busy before they got married though.
Yeah, we don't know their backstories, remember? Like, we don't know like anything about that, like where about that stuff. I would love to know what Garrick was. Ew, no, I don't.
I love how he
I
says
don't
the
wanna know
past
what Garrick-
tense of I was a playboy. Like, no, you are you're actually a fuckboy now. You're just a modernized, like
You're just modernized. He's just trying to do it under the guise of God.
exactly.
Yeah. For sure.
Because this is what God wants me to do and have all these roses. And we built this house specifically for my 5 roses or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's spewing.
Yep.
I also find it interesting too. So I was having this thought, like, because they were doing the tour of the house that they had built specifically for this lifestyle. And if you look at most of the families, the Davises notwithstanding, because they have a completely different system, but most of the other polygamous families, all the women have their own rooms.
Yes.
And the man rotates, right?
Yes.
In this situation, the women all share a room and the man has the like main room. And so like it just totally shows off that like it's all about Garrick and what he wants, and like he's the real Galileo.
Yeah, and then they're like, and this is the sister bedroom, and it had 2 beds in it. Like,
yeah,
is that like Nathalia and Miriam are supposed to share a bedroom of twin beds? Like,
so my understanding is they're going to add beds to it, like they're just going to bunk them or whatever as more women.
They don't all get individual rooms?
No, this is what I'm telling you. Like when there was an episode where they were building the house at one point, and and they were explaining that like all of the sister wives are going to live in one room, which is not typical for this type of lifestyle.
In one room? Yeah, that is just bizarre.
It's literally like college dorm-esque.
It's like camping.
Sorority
It's like
house.
Girl Scouts.
Yeah.
It's like a sorority house, except for that there's like the king and the oh no.
Yeah.
Who do you think's gonna be the garage wife? Like Mary? Do you think they're gonna have to expand to the garage and then
You mean like the barn dominium that they
the barn dominium?
Oh God.
I think it'd be Nathalia.
Oh, poor Nathalia.
No, Natalia's never coming here. So
You're right.
and I think Garrett counts on that. He's like,
Yeah.
oh well, I got to go there and bang her,
Banger.
and
Yeah.
and now I don't have to worry about her. I'm gonna go find somebody around here I can bang.
Well, because he didn't get her pregnant because they were like, oh, we're actively trying.
That's
So
right.
she's not.
Can you
she's-
imagine knocking her up and then not like then having a child somewhere else and then that whole situation? Oh my gosh. Be a lot.
Mm.
Be a
No.
lot. And we know Garrick wouldn't step up to the plate, so it would just be interesting.
No, if they had succeeded and Natalia had gotten pregnant, and both wives were pregnant at the same time, Garrick would have stayed in Brazil with Natalia.
Yeah, you're right. You're actually right. Yeah.
He would have not gone back with Danielle and the new baby.
Well,
Danielle
apparently
got
he
lucky.
wants to put in a baby in Miriam right away, and Miriam is not having it. So
No.
I'm very curious to see how this all plays out in the next episode.
Yeah.
The fact that Miriam said she'd never been with a white guy and like list the different kinds of guys she's been with. I was like, you're in for a lot of disappointment, I think, with Garrick. Like, oh my God.
Well,
your first white boy's gonna be Garrick.
It depends though, because she said that she's been with a lot of Arab men. Now, Arab men is a whole other category sexually. Don't ask me how I know.
But if she's like a pretty devout Muslim, she probably isn't talking sexually. She's probably talking like dating wise. That's my guess. The only reason is because she was like, I want to take things slow, like sexually.
Yeah, why not both though?
Oh, I'm not saying she hasn't. I'm just saying chances are good because that's for most devout Muslims, sex is.
I don't think she's as devout as she's coming off. Yeah, I think she's just. I think she's putting on a good show for TV.
Culturally, she obviously is because the pork was very important to her.
Yeah,
and the tenets of Muslim is very, tenets of Islam. I'm sorry, are very important to her. But I think you've talked about this, Becca, like the separation of sort of even of the culture and the religious. Like there's like sort of a mix. Like you can be very into certain aspects of it without necessarily following like you didn't see her wearing a hijab or anything,
Right, but that doesn't necessarily mean she's not devout.
Right, it just means she follows some and not others.
Right,
some things and not others.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to watch because I'm very curious how that's all going to play out.
Or maybe she is a very devout follower, but then she also wants to be on TV, so she's gonna just do whatever, say whatever. There's something I know, like Sam, the sister, Samantha, the sister-in-law, said she like vibed with her or whatever, but I didn't get a good feeling. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm just like very pessimistic lately.
Well,
but I just didn't energetically. So, but people could, but again, like it's hard for me because like that's how my friend Danielle and I met, and people were judgmental of us, saying you just wanted to be on TV and all this other shit. So like I do get that, like I get the judgment, but her in particular, I don't know, she's just rubbing me the wrong way. But we're seeing an edited, like very small clips of her, and so.
Now, when they said they met on social media, I was wondering because I had people back in the heyday of like some of the 90 Day stuff I was doing. I was covering, Seeking Sister Wife was on, but I wasn't really covering it. People would send me, I think I had several people send me screenshots of where Danielle had slid into their DMs.
Oh,
yeah, like basically propositioning them.
But Garrick did say that this chick DM'd her.
The other way around.
DM'd her. Yeah, he said she DM'd her.
If that's what I was waiting to hear, because I was like, oh, I know that Danielle has slid into other people's DMs.
Yeah, because production probably told her, hey, we're filming another season. We need somebody on the show. We need you to actually date people. So they did that to me with my Danielle. They're like, get on a dating app. I'm like, I'm 5 months pregnant. They're like, get on the dating app. I was like, okay. All right. And I'm going to tell people it's not for me. I'm like, it was a whole nother thing. But I'm saying production probably was like, slide into people's DMs, see what you can find, see if you can bring anybody in to film. That would be my guess as to why Danielle was sliding into people's DMs. Because without other women, they're not going to have a show. Right? Like,
yeah. Although something about Danielle there's screams this desperation that I think it feels real. Like
To
she
me, it
really
screams
is.
loneliness.
Yes.
I don't even know if it's, I guess desperate lonely. I feel like there's just like, especially after today when we found out she doesn't have any friends and
Yeah.
she's all of a sudden really rapidly bonding with this girl she doesn't know
Mm-hmm.
very well. You know, I mean, like that kind of that to me is like, oh my God, she is lonely. She's a husband
Yeah.
who's not supportive. And I felt really bad for her this episode. I don't know, it just clicked today.
And it also like puts her like breakdown after the Roberta stuff into a completely different light, right? Like,
yeah, because she and Roberta were like this, like they were super close.
Like that was her like only friend.
To be betrayed by her, yeah, it was less about what had happened with Garrick necessarily than the betrayal of her.
Yeah,
and why, and this is what we saw earlier when Danielle was filming on her phone, you know, and she's all angry about why is Nathalia not wanting to be engaging with me. That was what that whole fight was about, right?
Right.
Talk to you. She's talked to you. She doesn't talk to me. She doesn't talk to me. You know how upset Danielle is about that.
Right. She's highly anxious because she's been neglected and she's been desperate for love, affection, basic human needs that aren't being met in her life. And I feel really bad for her. And a lot of people made fun of her and the crying. And I was like, man, that's sad. It's just really sad. I feel bad for her. Like, if you're that upset, oh, and then you've got shithead Garrick as your husband.
Yeah.
My
imagine
God.
your world where that's your reaction. I mean, yeah, I mean, it absolutely makes sense because, like, when you put it all together and stuff, her reaction totally makes sense. I mean, it was over the top, though. I mean, there's just no getting around that.
Right, but if that's like your best friend,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
I mean, I've been betrayed by a best friend. I get it. It sucks.
Oh. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, if you are close to someone, it doesn't sound like she has a lot of other friends. Like,
100%.
She's like a prisoner. She's like in solitary confinement.
And she's got to like make the best of her situation, right? Is what this is what she thinks in her head. She's got to make the best of her situation. And he's going to do this. She's got to, okay, I got to figure out, well, maybe, oh, this poor person is reaching out to me and, oh, she's nice. And she's in a very vulnerable position. So it would be very easy for her to fall in love with her.
Mm-hmm.
And we still don't know the entire sexual dynamics of them. But what's expected.
You know, I want to say I bet you that the women don't like hook up, but
not with each other. Like, I don't think.
I was gonna say I can see Garrick slowly manipulating because he hasn't been able to have a woman around her long enough. Well, you know, like they always live far away. I could see him trying to manipulate them to being together too. I don't know. He's just such a creepy dude.
Yeah, and clearly his beliefs are based on whatever because he's putting up this nonsense words on the wall, right? Like he's just making up shit and calling it his, you know, this is what God wants. And
right.
It's not...
I feel like we're gonna get a Netflix documentary out in like 5 to 10 years about some of these couples.
For real.
Like
when they do the dark side, when they do the dark side of the 2020s or whatever, you know, when those episodes come out eventually, like the way they do the dark side of the 90s and stuff now, like the National Geographic or whatever, or Vice or something, they're going to go back and they're going to have like people like us sitting down talking about what it was like to cover them as bloggers and podcasters.
They're going to be like, it's me, Keith Raniere, whatever his name is. And it's going to be Cody, Keith, Garlic.
When polygamy reigned supreme or whatever, polygamy and cults of or in high control groups of the 2020 or, you know, whatever.
I love that Katrina started using my like research terms.
I know. High control group.
High control groups, new religious movements.
Yes.
I can learn. I can be learned.
Yeah.
Because no researcher would use the word cult because it's so ambiguous and no one knows what it means, right? Like,
Right.
so
right.
I was
Well, I
listening to
hear the term high control group. All the quote unquote cult podcasts that I listen to always talk about it as high control group.
right.
I hear that primarily over the word cult anyway. So, I mean, I know that that's what I need to be using because it
Yeah.
makes more sense and it's more accurate. But
Right. Yeah. Because like, so I was listening to a podcast on my long drive back from Pennsylvania, from commencement, and like like a direct quote was like, you know what a cult looks like when you see it, and I'm like, do you?
do you really? No. I think
I
that's
don't
the
know
whole
if that's
point.
No, I don't think. Yeah.
And also, that's just like giving everybody carte blanche to just like call everything a cult, which is what everyone does now, right? Like
Which is,
it's
right.
lost
Yeah.
meaning. The word has lost meaning.
Right. Which
Yeah.
is why I'm trying to go to high control group because of the more accuracy and all that of it.
Totally.
What
Totally.
the
Mhm.
words convey. Yeah, so
That was literally the end of the episode.
that was it, right? So what do we
Yeah.
see? What do we see on the next episode?
So next week we see Justin telling Becky that Yary wants a husband just for him. Or just for her. Just for her,
Yeah.
sorry.
And Becky's like,
Love that
how
show.
would that ever work? It wouldn't, Becky. That's why this is all bullshit.
So she twists it and she's like, so Yari is saying like she thinks that if she keeps dating you, like you're just gonna leave me and be with her. And I'm like, I don't think that's what Yari is saying.
No.
Right.
That's a
doesn't
really
want your
weird interpretation.
She doesn't want your stanky ass husband, okay?
Exactly.
Keep him to yourself.
And then we see Nathalia on the computer saying things have changed. And so my guess is she finds out that Jasmine visited from Michigan and she is done with the family. That's my guess. What else happened? I don't
I
think
hope
that's
that
something-
she just continues to milk them for money though. Before she ends it, just the way Roberta did.
And then we see the creepy leg petting by Garrett.
Oh, by
right?
Garlic.
You know what I think? I think Garlic's sending the money and not telling Danielle about it.
Oof.
I bet you he's he's probably
Yeah,
like,
oh yeah.
here's $20,000 to take care of whatever bills you need. And
You want your boobs done? Here, honey.
let me lick your feet. I don't know. That's just
Lick
something that
my
can.
feet. Ew.
Ew.
I'm just saying he's into some like fetishes probably, and
He
he's like,
is into some
which
weird ass
I'm not
shit.
against. I'm just saying
We're not
like,
king shaming you guys.
no, we're not king shaming. I'm just saying like there's just more to him than like this like
He's probably into
Christian.
the lamb's blood. He needs
probably
to hook
is.
up with They need to bring Jasmine to this family.
I feel like they need a reunion because I feel like all of these people really need to meet each other in person. Like, I
100%.
feel-
Because all of these potentials and everybody, they're all with the wrong people. They all need to go.
Why don't they all just live together? Like all the families, like
They need to
live
do
on
a
a
seeking
compound.
sister wife, like Bachelor in Paradise, where they take all like the rejects and they put them on the island. They need to do that with this these people, except they're not all necessarily all rejects. Although they can bring all the rejects.
They can bring like Roberta and
You bring
Nathalia.
Roberta. You bring the chick that
Stephanie, the one that we don't see or hear.
that we didn't see. The chick she went the one girl Ashley went bowling with. You bring the chick from the bar.
And you just have them all date around.
You just bring them all to a giant villa, like Too Hot to Handle style, like just a giant villa somewhere.
Oh my
and
gosh.
then you have activities and things where they can get to know each other and like, okay, so on Too Hot to Handle, if you've ever have you guys seen that show?
No.
Yes.
It's
yes.
fantastic. So you know how they have those they have these like the relationship experts come and they do these things like they paint each other and it's supposed to like develop intimacy because the premise of that show is they get all these people that are just really hot and all they want to do is bang. And this show is like, no, you have to get to know people on a deeper level and you can get a huge pot of money at the end. But every time you break the rules and do something sexual with someone, you lose money, right? So that's the premise. So it's like, we're going to get you to learn how to be more intimate and connected with people, right?
And Lexi, what's really funny is they do like alternative healing modalities with them, which is like It's literally like someone took like Lost Resort and mixed it with
Yes.
like Bachelor, and it's so weird.
Oh my god.
It's like, what's her name? The one that was mean and evil that we don't like from your season, Becca, your show?
oh
Oh,
yeah.
Aqua.
Yeah, it's
Aqua,
like you would
yes.
come on here and like do like, we're all gonna be like painting our vulvas with, you know, juice.
Except she wouldn't do that because she just wants everyone to bang. So like it would be the opposite of too hot to handle.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. But basically, okay, so yeah, so like they need to have like where like live in one villa, one cabana, like kind of like how you lived on in Becca on Lost Resort, right? Live in a little place like that. And then you have like the Salahudins in another. And then so you have each of the married couples in like different ones. And then you have all of the quote unquote like sister wives that are being sought. They can all like live together. Because
Oh, okay.
I'm just thinking of as a producer, as a reality show producer here, right? Like that's where you get the bang for your buck. You put all them together and then you bring all of them together and you do the various like relationship building exercises and things with like the various individual groups, but everybody's meeting each other and learning these things and then they're like, "Oh, I'm going to go off with him." And
And guess who could be one of the like spiritual advisors?
oh,
Galileo.
Oh, I was like, Becca could be a spiritual advisor.
No, because Galileo knows more than Galileo knows everything.
Oh god.
He actually knows like how God.
To be fair, I would totally do that. I think that would be a blast.
Amazing.
I feel like that's
Yeah.
the only way. Either we charter the yacht or I'm like a spiritual advisor for something. And that's like the only way I'm ever doing reality TV again.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway,
That's the show.
That's it.
that's it. Okay. I'm like
it.
brain.
We don't know how
brain.
many episodes are. Wait, you said how many back are left?
We don't
Two?
know.
So my guess is there's 2 more. So this was
Okay.
number 12. So my guess is there's going to be 2 more.
Okay.
There's at least 1 more, clearly, but
Right.
it
You're
didn't
gonna-
look
yeah, I
like
guess.
it didn't look like a season finale. So my guess is there's going to be 2 more, which is interesting because they wrapped up 2 couples already. So it looks
Yeah.
like they're just going to do the last 3 with like 3 couples and that's it.
Yeah. But sometimes things happen. Maybe they planned for a 12 season or 12 episodes and then like something happened and they were like, "Oh, we have to film this and get," and then they did 2 more episodes.
I'm
I don't
looking up
know.
to see if I can find the answer. If they have like a.
I tried to and I couldn't find it, but I saw like articles that was like there's probably going to be 14 because there were 14 last time.
Okay. So that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. Well, we will keep on keeping on. Hey, you guys, if you're still listening, look, I want you to do us a favor. Give us a 5-star review if you like us. That would really help us out. The other thing that would have really helped us, if you'd like us, share the podcast. Share it with your friends if you like the episode or whatever. Oh, share it because all those kinds of things help with us engagement and things like that. So helps get us out there. So more people can hear our words of wisdom talking about Jesus jizz. If you want to hear
lamb
the
blood.
pastor
And the
talking about
lamb's
Jesus
blood.
jizz, you too can listen to us and you can hear the pastor talking about Jesus jizz. I promise.
So the best part about running into Alina and Daniel was that another pastor like sat down with us, who is also an adjunct professor at the seminary, and like listening to Alina explain to him Jesus jizz was like
Oh my God.
the highlight of my trip. Like she was basically like, so this is basically what Garrick said, and it like it goes into the woman, and it goes like it changes her DNA, it goes into her brain and changes her DNA, and like this
because Jesus did it.
right.
The Holy Spirit.
Yeah,
in
it's
us.
just like Jesus who comes it up, right? And so this poor pastor / professor is just like, okay.
I didn't think I needed to know that, but okay.
And like I know the context, so I'm laughing really hard. But this poor pastor, like he's never seen the show, he hasn't listened to the podcast, he has no idea what we're talking about, and he's just like, uh-huh.
He doesn't have our sense of humor is, I'm so sorry, poor pastor. I'm
I
so
felt bad. I
sorry.
mean, like, and he seemed like semi-amused. Like it wasn't like he wasn't, you know.
Yeah.
But
If
like,
you
yeah.
if you're friends of Becca and you're, pastors or whatnot, if you could just pray for us, Katrina and
I
I.
know, right? They probably are. They're like,
They're
Lord
probably like,
Jesus.
we're on the
Send extra prayers, please.
send prayers our way.
Who
We
knew
need them.
our biggest fan base was going to be the seminary?
The church.
Well, so here was the funniest part though. I mean, that was really funny, but like the best part was like they had family members at the table with us because it was graduation. And Daniel introduces me as like the queen of reality TV.
Oh God.
And I'm like, I don't think I want that title.
You're like, not the crowd for that title. No.
Right. And they're all like, what? And he's like, she was on a reality show. And they're like, which one? And he's like, you've never heard of it.
Yeah. So like, why are you even bringing it up?
And they were like,
look,
no, really, which one? And I'm like, no, you like, he's right. Like, you've never heard of it. And so we told them, and they're like, no, we've never heard of it. I know. And then Alina was like, how did you disappear for like a month and no one knew? And I was like, I literally posted on social media, I'm going on retreat. And no one blinked an eye.
No one cared. Everyone's like, all right.
Yep.
That tracks. No one, it just didn't register for anybody. Is being odd.
Anyway, the funny part is when she was in my class, I didn't know that she had watched the show, and I taught the class like pretty soon after it aired. And so like at one point it came up that I was on the show, and like I watched, because I was teaching the course on Zoom, I watched all of my students stop listening to my lecture and start Googling me all at once. Anyway,
That is amazing. That is amazing.
it was so much fun. It was really great. I'm so glad I ran into them.
Oh, that is amazing. Well, Alina and Nick, thank you for listening. I got it right. Daniel.
Yeah.
That's okay. Who knows? Nick Galileo. I don't know. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm really bad with names. It's the MS. I don't know. But thank you. Thank you guys for listening. We love Becca here, and we will not finish. I mean, when we finish Seeking Sister Wife, that's not going to be the end of it.
No.
We have that reminds me, I was gonna do a poll on Instagram about what they want us to do next. They want us to do like the Jill Duggar? Do they want us to do Twin Flame universe?
Oh, I want to do that one so badly. Like, even if people don't vote for it, we should do it at some point.
Well, yeah, like, but which one do they want us to do next? Like, we need a list, like the ones we're planning on doing anyway, right?
Right.
I was gonna list them. So shoot me a note in our group text of which ones we are doing, and I'll do a poll on it. We'll see what people are looking at, and we can plan our next ones. The order of things as well. It's getting done.
I was gonna say the good part is there's consistently like messed up religious docuseries that pop out. So like we're not going to be wanting for material.
Right. Oh, I just watched the new Ashley Madison documentary, which you pointed out to me. I had watched the one on Hulu, and they did a lot of stuff with Josh Duggar and stuff in that one, right? Like how that was all affected. That was a good one too. So when I saw this one pop up, like you were like, hey, this new one's up. I was like, okay. So I went and I watched it the other day. I found it interesting. I don't know if I have many specific thoughts on it right now, but I mean, it brought up a lot of stuff for me as far as like, this is why I don't like mommy bloggers. This is why I don't like Christian bloggers, which is a whole, maybe, that's a whole thing that we could talk about actually. But if we want to cover that documentary, but in any case, there are lots of fucked up religious shit happening. And we've got the best pastor on earth to explain it all to us, to cut through the noise and explain why Jesus jizzes in the thing.
Or at least
although
research it enough to have conversations.
I mean, Jesus jizz isn't a thing because science, but the rest of it with the
Right.
theology, Becca will keep us straight on. And anyway, thank you guys all for listening. The other way you can support us is supporting our sponsors, which we do not have any currently. We don't have any.
We don't have any?
We don't have any running. Any ones that you're hearing right now are the automated ads, like the programmatic ads that are like not host read, not the ones we read. So like they're not really sponsors. They're
But I
sponsors.
liked your Skims ads so much.
Skims, our downloads dropped so much. Skims dropped us.
Oh no.
Yeah, because our downloads dropped because when we first picked up Skims, we were putting out 2 episodes a week, and our listenership was up a lot higher.
Got it.
And then we went through a little hiatus where I was off in Buffalo doing the trial. Lexi was having heart surgery, to implant her pacemaker. Like things were happening. We went like a month where we didn't have any episodes, and so our monthly downloads is what is is what and then they're supposed to get them. We owe them a certain amount of downloads, like impressions per ad read or whatever. And we were no longer delivering that to them because
you weren't like churning out.
We weren't churning out the content.
Yeah.
And also that's why I want you guys to share this, because I want us to get a bigger audience. Okay.
Please, I'd like to buy underwear. I mean, have underwear and bras.
I know.
Again.
The Skims
kidding.
was so great because they picked us up as like a trial, like let's see how it works, and then they liked it, and then they stayed with us for a long time, and then
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff from them.
we did, and then we got different things. Oh, I love my Skim stuff.
Yeah.
No, and your ad was so good. Like my favorite is when you were like snatched at the waist. I'm like, that's such a good line.
It does. Those shirts are amazing. I pulled it out of the package and it's like this big. I wish I had it down here. I swear to God, this shirt looks like
tiny.
Tiny. It looks like it'd fit Kaya. I'm like, I could put it on Theo, right? I'm like, okay, no, right? And I went and I put it on, and it was like, holy mother of God, what is this magic? What is this sorcery? And I was like, okay, if it's this tight on me, it's going to show all the bulges from my bra and not that, I mean, like, depending on the bra, whatever, like, it's going to show all of those things. And it doesn't show all of those things. It's like this magic. It really does like hold you in. And like, I'm like, all this extra fat and swelling and stuff happening. And I'm like, what is it? It's amazing. They're amazing shirts. I love them. And I love those bras. And I love Skims. They're not even paying me anymore. And I love it. So
Yeah.
But yeah, so the more downloads we get, because it's done by average downloads per month. And Apple did a thing recently where if you'd subscribed and you are getting automatic downloads, like they did an update or something where basically it like eliminated half of that. So we dropped a whole bunch just from that. And then you also have to take into account there's downloads when you download the show or you just stream it. And there's different ways of looking at those numbers and stuff and the analytics, and it gets really, but in any case, we need the more people that listen to each episode, and we have pixels that track on like how many people are listening. So they see who's listening to the ads and stuff. But I mean, the bottom line is we need more listeners, right? More people listen, the more it gets downloaded, the more people listen to the ad, even if you skip over the ad. So we need you guys to share that. We need a bigger audience, and we can get ads again, more ads.
I'm sorry that like it's such a productivity culture thing that like you have to churn out like multiple podcasts a week to like really keep up with all of it. That's messed up.
Yeah, what I think is like the good thing about this for me at least is because like it's not my job, right? I have a full-time job. And it's not our full-time job for any of us. This is completely a side hustle. Like if this was my full-time job, I would have the time to dedicate to doing the things that I would need to do to increase all that stuff, right? and to put it into the marketing and stuff. I'm a one-woman show over here, and then my husband produces it, right? Like, but as far as like marketing and producing all that stuff, like that's just like way beyond what I'm capable of, both technically and just time wise. Like I don't have the time to do it. This is a side thing. I'm not trying to make a living off of it, but I would like it to pay for itself. Podcasting isn't free, right? So I would like it to pay for itself. It's not doing that right now because we don't have the ads. So that's why we need the ads. Anyway, that's all my spiel to say. Like all those things, like engaging with us, like liking the show, sharing the episode, like giving us a review, leaving us a few words like, hey, love you guys, or just hope you didn't shit your pants today, like whatever. I don't care what it is. But the 5-star reviews and stuff and all that, like, and help people find our show, because then that stuff, all that's, you gotta beat the algorithm, right? You gotta play into the algorithm, and that's just, I just want it to pay for itself. Anyway, it's super late. We're all gonna go to sleep now. Okay, thanks. Bye.